Anyway, just a lot of really good hires this offseason, and it's just further indicative of Oklahoma's desire to just be all in to make sure that they rebound from a disastrous 2024 season. Hey, it's been a great Father's Day weekend. I know Jay had a great day. I had a great day with our fam as well, but we hope y'all had a great day. We're going to talk a little bit about that coming up next here on Locked On Sooners. And who are Oklahoma's sons? There's quite a few out there. We'll discuss coming up next on Locked On Sooners.
You are Locked On Sooners, your daily podcast on the Oklahoma Sooners. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Once again, thanks for making Locked On Sooners your first listen every single day. Shout out to all the everydayers out there. Tune in and subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcasts. We're free and available on all your favorite podcast platforms and on YouTube. So hit that subscribe button and that notification bell to let you know when new episodes drop. Had way too many chocolate chip cookies on Sunday. That's our tradition in our family. My wife and my daughter have been making chocolate chip cookies for Father's Day for like 7 years. I think I had way too many of them. So I'm having a little bit of a sugar crash because of that. But basically wanted to ask this question to you, Jay, because I just thought it was fascinating. Oklahoma has been one of the more prolific programs in college football history, and they've been daddy to a lot of football programs out there over the years. And just to start this, I think a lot of Big 12 folks forget who their daddy is.
Yeah.
With Oklahoma's 14 Big 12 titles, the next best is Texas at 4. And beyond that is Baylor with 3. And it's going to take a really long time. And the Big 12 may not even exist long enough for somebody to catch Oklahoma's 14 Big 12 titles.
Yeah, it's something that always fascinates me, that teams, forget that, it happens. Everybody goes through a little bit of a drought, a smaller one. We've seen it. We've even seen Bama go through a drought. They had a small drought years ago, before they got Nick Saban, and then they just went back to their, old school traditions of the Bear Bryant era of winning those championships again. It happens, and it's okay. For Oklahoma, we're now in a we're just trying to reconfigure the way we're doing things while all of college football is changing or whatnot. But yeah, Oklahoma's owned a lot. Those 14 conference championships is something that I think a lot of people need to also remember and take in consideration, that OU was cooking everybody, and it was a non-con. I mean, the greatness of Oklahoma, and that's the one thing that I've heard a lot of talking heads and just people in general, sports fans that have a brain that are more rational, have always respected Bob Stoops, is the fact that he's willing to go on the road and do home and home series with other teams. I mean, you had Notre Dame, you had Ohio State, you had Tennessee, you've had these home and home series, Washington. You go down the list, the only thing that sucks about it is that, John, Oklahoma did not know when these teams were going to be bad. They just put them on the schedule. I mean, we've got some others coming up. Heck, we had one with Georgia, and unfortunately the SEC told us to cancel it because they couldn't reciprocate it due to not knowing if they were going to go to 9-game schedules. So that Oklahoma's always been willing to go out and play some of the best and not be afraid of it. Heck, we got Michigan coming up. Did Oklahoma have to do that? No, they could have kept it cupcakeish, go to a lower tier Big Ten team, a lower tier, SEC, ACC or whatever. They could have done that, but they didn't. They said they wanted to play some of the best, or try to play some of the best. Michigan won a national championship 2 years ago. Unfortunately, they're kind of in limbo, but that's not the point. We've always tried, but we also own a lot of y'all's. Looking at you, Missouri.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
A&M, talk to me.
Yeah, Oklahoma 67-25-5 against Mizzou. Yeah, you got the last one, but let's be real.
Congratulations. Proud of you.
It took the worst Oklahoma offense in 27 years and a turnover down the stretch and a guy falling down for you to beat Oklahoma. Like, it took all that in Oklahoma's worst season since 1998 for you to beat Oklahoma. So you can't sit there on your high horse like, oh, we got OU. Come on. No, you didn't. You didn't get OU. You got you got OU with one arm and one leg tied behind its back.
That's literally
that's
what
not
you
a win.
had.
Okay. Oklahoma State. Let's not forget who's the top dog. 91 wins. 91, 20-7. I know you miss us. I know things haven't been the same since we left. We listen, we think about you sometimes too. And we'll take Bedlam back on the schedule when your administration's ready. But don't forget, let's not get it twisted. It goes one way, but it's not the way you think it goes.
Exactly.
Iowa State, Oklahoma, 80 wins, 7 losses, and 2 ties all time.
God.
What's crazy about that, Jay, is 2 of those losses came in the Lincoln Riley era.
That's wild.
How nuts is that?
That was the Matt Campbell era, so I could totally see it because Matt Campbell has been doing some things. That's the one. He's one coach that I am surprised he hasn't taken another job, and I've also seen in moments of him being there that he's probably missed out on the opportunity to take another job. While at the same time, now he's back at the point where I'm surprised somebody hasn't tried to poach him yet.
Right?
It's the wildest thing.
Yeah, he's gonna get that statue built there one day because he's just gonna be really a lifer. It's just funny. It's like anything that you would never have expected to happened kind of during the Lincoln Riley era. You know, you lose twice to Iowa State. That would have never happened to any other, coach.
Nobody
Maybe
else.
Back in the John Blake era. I don't know. But I mean, Brent Venables always gets compared to the John Blake era, but he didn't lose to Iowa State twice. Let's just put it that way. Now, he only got to play Iowa State once. Maybe. Did they play twice? No, they played twice. Did they play twice? I'm trying to think if they played in 23. Anyway, I'm blanking on that.
Yes, they played in 23.
Yeah, and they won both those games.
Yeah, we won in 23 because Billy Bowman got a pick 6 to start the game, and we were like, oh, okay, this game. And then you could tell that the defense kind of got laxed and was like, we're not going to play too hard. And then Iowa State started coming back, and we were like, all right, turn it back up. And then we ended up blowing them out in that game.
Yeah, that was a big DG game, if I remember now.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was a big DG game.
Yeah.
And Iowa State was not very good that year.
Let's also talk about some Power 4 teams that Oklahoma's undefeated against. UNC, 7-0. Who's your daddy? Maryland, 4-0. Who's your daddy? Iowa, Penn State, Minnesota, Michigan. Oklahoma has beaten them all every time they played them. Big Ten, who's your daddy? Oklahoma is also 3-0 against the Auburn Tigers, who are going to be coming to town this year.
Just make it 4-0, baby. That's all I expect.
Yeah.
I expect that. That should be 4-0. I'm just going to call it now. Darn it. I'm looking at their roster, in which we'll get back to previewing the opponents, early previews before fall camp, and then give you fall camp previews of these opponents. But yeah, that's going through all of the depth chart stuff. We better. We better. No excuse. Yeah,
no excuses there. Even if Jackson Arnold has a good game, I still think Oklahoma should win that game. But on a serious note, like Oklahoma, they've got the history. They've got the 7 national titles, going for number 8. They've got the 7 Heisman winners, the 50 conference championships. They've been a lot of people's daddies over the year. And I think this is the year they get back to being on top and showing teams what Oklahoma football is about.
Exactly. Rule 76, no excuses, play like a champion.
That's right. And that's going to do it for today's episode of Locked On Sooners. Thanks so much for tuning in, being a part of the show. Subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcasts. We're free and available on all podcast platforms and on YouTube. So hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell to let you know when new episodes drop. Follow Jay at Unfair Sports. You can go check out his channel, Unfair Sports, over on YouTube. You can follow me at John 9 Williams. You can read my work covering the Sooners over at SoonersWire.com. The show is at Locked On Sooners on all of your favorite social media platforms. But until next time, he's Jay Smith. I'm John Williams. We'll talk to you then. Boomer.
Sooner. Just remember who your daddy is. And that's all.
That's right.
Everything will be okay.
That's right.